It's Nick
Who is it?
Punto.
It's not Victorino, is it?
Number 11. Come on, boys.
Ryan Howard.
Is it Howard?
Jimmy Rollins. What's it? Signed all over it.
It's all signed, buddy.
Did you have to shatter the glass and you crack that thing open? Like, why is that being worn?
Are you coming from? I mean, I hope you wore that on your trick or treating duties.
I did not. No, I told the kids. I said one more, and then we're out. I got to go to work. It's time to talk some baseball.
What was the candy that you were handing out?
Dude, you like up here where we live. If you don't do the full size, you get like berated by the little kids, man. It's tricky.
You know what they did? So they have like the junior mints and stuff. They put in now it's in plastic.
Yeah.
You notice that?
No. Oh, you mean are you talking about like the York patties or the
anything in like a box? Like they put it in plastic now. Yeah. Yeah. I threw. You know what I threw in mine? I threw in my thing for the kids to have.
5-hour energy.
Yes. Yes, I could have used that tonight.
All right, hey, listen, let's go. Let's do it. I'm in Philadelphia in a hotel room. You're wearing a Phillies jersey. Coop is working on no hours of sleep.
It is.
It's going to be.
Baseball
doesn't sleep.
magical.
Baseball doesn't sleep. It's great. Right. I appreciate it. Hey, Nick, are you gonna? I hate to extend your duties as a World Series correspondent for the Baseballs and Boring brand. Are you going to be around after the game tomorrow or no?
I'd love to. Absolutely.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Courtney wants to talk to some shit, so she wasn't able to make it. So, all right, here we go. Ready, Coop?
I'm ready as ever.
Okay.
I love it. Coop's on no sleep.
All right.
I don't need it. I'm young.
Hey, I tell you what, before we go, Nick, Baseballs and Boring podcast started on Thursday, national daily podcast that you're formerly a part of. Red hot. Huge numbers.
It's huge.
Huge numbers, yeah.
Look at you guys. I mean, are you kidding me? Why wouldn't it be?
I don't know.
It's because of the people we get on. No one's coming in for these mugs.
No. Hey, there's a lot.
Maybe Rob, but not me.
It might have something to do with Joe Kelly talking shit about the Astros and Jonathan Papelbon talking about Bryce Harper. But, I like to think it's more about our baseball expertise. Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, all right, this is good. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Baseball is not boring. And I'll tell you who's not boring. Nick Punto. My pick to click for media personality for 2023. There you go. You might not even want it, Nick, but I'm gonna tell the world that you could be that if you wanted.
Hey, you know what? Coming from you, that sounds all right. Yeah, I don't know if I want that or not, but hey, if Bradfo says it, then that's got to be something.
It's nice to have those options. And so I was down at Citizens Bank Park because I always like to drive 6 hours to hang out on the rain out. And but I like to mingle with the media types there. It was good to see everybody there. It was good, get the vibe, talk to people in the parking lot. And I told people, I said on the field, I said, you know who we have coming on? World Series correspondent Nick Punto. And to a person, Nick, they're like, man, he's awesome. He is awesome. So there you go. Your brand has never been hotter here at the World Series. Plus, you're wearing a Phillies jersey.
That's a special group out there in Philly. They just like the Red Sox, they kind of just built their brand from within, and it's the same people running the show from the people in the mailroom all the way to the top. It just seems like they just kind of breed from there.
And best media dining in the league. You know why? You know why? Because as I said, somebody said to me today, it's not complicated. They're nice people and they serve ice cream. I mean, it's right.
Did you go get a Philly cheesesteak? Once you got rained out, did you go across the street and did you pick Geno's or did you pick Pat's? And if you didn't, then you just didn't. Why would you drive to Philly and not grab a cheesesteak?
I'm asking myself a lot of questions today, Nick. But you know what?
Rob, bring me
The
one
fact.
back. If you're not going to have it,
Oh,
bring me one.
Coop's here. Coop's
I'll
here.
do the
All
taste
right.
testing.
Coop, you need one of those, buddy.
I would
I know.
inhale one of those right now.
You got to go Geno's. I'm a Geno's guy.
Are
All
you?
right. That's the
So
Nick Punto sign of approval.
when
Geno's.
you played for the Phillies, was this like a thing that you just walked across the street after every game?
We didn't have to, because the and you guys probably already know this. I'm sure you do, Rob. But the best cheesesteak in Philadelphia is actually in the visiting clubhouse.
Oh,
Hands
really?
down. Every player knows about it. There's no reason to go to Geno's or Pat's. But if you don't have access to the visiting clubhouse, then you have to go across the street.
Oh, all I knew was about Chick-fil-A in spring training. I did not know about the visiting clubhouse for the Phillies being good cheesesteaks. See, there you go.
There's actually records on the wall. And I think Carlos Silva still holds the daily record of eating 8 Philly cheesesteaks in one day.
Is that
I
true?
could beat that. I could beat that.
Yeah, there's a record. I believe they still have standings and a record, and like how many Philly cheesesteaks someone has eaten in one day. And I believe I still think it's Carlos Silva put away 8.
Did you witness anybody who said, okay, you know what, we get some time on our hands, I'm going to go after Carlos Silva's record?
Yes. Yeah. No, it's always the guys that are on the DL, kind of like traveling with the team. Obviously, they have nothing to do, so they're going to just give it a shot. But 8 is just a huge number. 8 Philly cheesesteaks. It doesn't even matter.
Bigger challenge. Is it the Wade Boggs challenge or is it the Philly cheesesteak challenge?
It's the same thing, Coop. I mean, we're talking either way. It's really tough, right? We could go.
You're right.
Go back to our college days when you said, "Can you drink a gallon of milk and hold it down?" Right?
I mean, what's better than baseball and gorging yourself with basically carbs and alcohol?
I mean, that's America right there. That's why it's America's sport.
There's nothing better than the sideshows in baseball. I guarantee there's no other sport that has sideshows like we have, right?
Well, the whole clubhouse dynamic is bizarre. Like I said, Nick, you probably, the thing is that, so the media, a lot of times we don't get to see what you guys are eating, right? Because it's in the back. Oakland is the only place we get to see it, because the visiting clubhouse sucks so bad, they have to sit and eat right in front of us, and we're sitting there in 11:30 at night, and they're carting out the lobster and the steak. I'm like, what's happening? But I always remember in spring training, bizarrely, if Chick-fil-A came in to the clubhouse in spring training, it was these trillionaires would be scrambling to get it. You can go to the mall and get Chick-fil-A.
I know. Yep. There's something about that chicken sandwich, though.
All right. Listen, we've already solved a lot of problems in the last 5 minutes. So we are thrilled to have you as a World Series correspondent. You have agreed to. You were originally going to pop on after Game 3. There's no Game 3 because of rain. Like I said, I swung on by to make sure that everyone was present. Congratulations, by the way, Justin Turner, Roberto Clemente Award. Sincerely, that's a great honor. Seems like a really good guy. Was the first, and by the way, Coop, you'll appreciate this. So after the Roberto Clemente Award happened, presentation, he's there with his wife, and everyone's congratulating him. I corner him. I say, Justin, I just want to introduce myself. You were the first person to wear a Baseball Isn't Boring T-shirt on camera. I just want to thank you. Which I'm sure it meant a lot to him as his moment.
I mean, he beat Joe to it, correct?
Right. Justin. So we handed out these Baseball Isn't Boring T-shirts, which are obviously you're on the way for you, millions of them. But Justin Turner did a highly produced video of him getting his stuff out of the car for spring training, wearing a Baseball Isn't Boring shirt, which sort of was the springboard to everything. So what a year it has been to him, punctuated by this honor, and the honor being me congratulating him. So anyway, so rainout. So as we said, we're thrilled that I can't say this enough. Like, Nick, I am so happy that you agreed to come on with us because, number one, we love talking with you. We love talking trash with you. You're in the fantasy football league. I don't know. I think you're sort of somewhere in the middle. Congratulations on that. But
I'll
it's
take that as
also,
kind of upper echelon, but that's okay.
I mean, it's honestly, it's not bad. It's not bad for someone who literally was like trying to so you thought his computer screen was like a touch screen or something.
He's in second place in his division, so I got to give him that.
Oh, he
I can't
is?
figure this out.
Yeah.
All right, but yeah, we're so thrilled because like you've obviously you have a great perspective on a lot of things. But so when this rain out happens, you're like, oh man, I was really looking forward to talking to Nick after the game and breaking things down. But then, holy mackerel, the clouds parted, not literally, but figuratively, and here it is. You are a perfect person in so many ways to have on right now because you tell me why, Nick. You tell me.
You nailed it, buddy. You did your research. So game 6 of the World Series, the biggest game of my career, the biggest game of my lifetime, probably one of the greatest games in the history of baseball, doesn't happen without a rain out. It does not happen without that rain out.
And so as we sit here right now, game 3 was rained out. I couldn't believe it, Nick. It was the first World Series rain out since that day. The day before game 6 of 2011 that you played in.
I know. I was thinking the same thing. I'm sitting on the couch, excited to watch the game, looking forward to it, looking forward to talking to you guys after the game. And then that rain out occurs, and I'm like, gosh, I wonder if there's something to this. Is there an advantage either way? And in my opinion, in game 6, we had the advantage, meaning we got Chris Carpenter back on the mound for game 6, who basically carried us into the playoffs. And then probably the biggest game in that playoff stint, besides that game 6 of the World Series, was game 5 of the NLDS against the Phillies. Chris Carpenter, Roy Halladay, it was just bananas. The media went crazy about it, and they both did exactly what they were supposed to do, and we won the game by 1 run. And it was like, I want to say 3-2 or 2-1. It was no runs scored. Halladay, Carpenter, game 5 NLDS, and then he just kept doing that. So we got to in the NLCS, he dominated. Chris Carpenter was the reason we won, that we got to the playoffs, but the reason we actually won the World Series. A huge part.
So take me back. So you guys, you lose game 5. You fall in a 3-2 hole. And then you have the rain out. And like what you're saying is because of that rain out, Carpenter was able to pitch game 6.
Exactly.
Correct?
Yep. So
okay.
We go to Texas 1-1 at home. And then we go to Texas, get game 3, and then we lose game 4 and 5 in Texas. So we come home down 3-2, just like you said.
Okay.
Down 3-2. We get home. We're excited about the game. It's raining, and it's just hard to tell. But by the time the game started, the rain was gone. I mean, at 7:00, it was just the most beautiful day. They postponed the game probably a couple hours before that. And for many reasons, right? I mean, MLB has the reasons they do what they do. They don't want, you to lose a starting pitcher, whatever it is. I understand that whole thing, but honestly, like, that was so big for the St. Louis Cardinals in 2011. I mean,
so what you're saying is they postponed the game, and by the time the game that was supposed to start, it was nice out. It was nice.
Yeah, it was gorgeous. I don't know if that was.
Do you think?
Night, but.
Yeah, but it's a good point, like about MLB, not wanting to burn, and that's what they did here. I'm sitting in the bowels of Citizens Bank Park, and I was privy to the murmurs. Hey, it's already banged. I mean, this is probably an hour and a half before the game, but yeah, they don't want anybody rain delays to burn anything. But so the question I guess I have for you, looking back at that, if you don't knowing. I don't know how. I've never played in a World Series game. Coop, have you played in a World Series game?
Little League, yes. Ended up winning.
Okay.
No
All
big
right.
deal.
Okay. All right. Any rain? Any
We'll
rain?
get back to that in a second.
any rain? Any rain delays? Any rain delay talk?
I can't think of any right now. No.
By the way, when you're in Little League, how bad does it suck when it rains? I mean, it's like that's like the worst.
It's the
No,
day runner because often it's like a weekend game, so now you have to wait till the next weekend.
I mean, getting rained out. You only play twice a week, and you get one rained out. It's like you go home and cry, crying about it. It's
no, it's not worse than Major League Baseball. So anyway, when you go into that, Texas has the momentum. Looking back at it, I don't know if you remember. Did it feel like, hey, man, this is we hope for the best. We believe in ourselves. We get to this point, but the momentum 3-2 down 3-2, playing right away. It's going to be tough. Do you remember feeling that at all?
You know what? Honestly, we didn't. We had such a unique group of unbelievable veterans with Albert Pujols and Matt Holliday and Chris Carpenter and Adam Wainwright, who was on the DL with Tommy John surgery all year, but he was still in the dugout with us, being that unbelievable leader he was. Skip Schumacher, who's one of my best friends, just got a job in Miami. Congratulations to Skippy. He was incredible.
Bench
coach. What's that?
Bench coach.
We'll see.
Did I say bench coach?
One day, maybe. We'll see. But no, we just had such a great group. And then obviously our leader, Tony La Russa, kind of was like, it felt like his last hurrah, meaning he was just on cloud nine with the team and the way he was running the show. He was incredible. We just had a great nucleus of guys, and our rookies were amazing. Let me talk about those rookies real quick. John Jay, Alan Craig, Daniel Descalso, somebody, but they were just our whole team to me was a lot like these Philadelphia Phillies today. Like, they're just a good group of guys. They didn't play to their potential. Like, I think we won 89 games that year that we won the World Series, and this Phillies team won 87 games, but they are gelling together, playing really well together. And they're kind of playing against a juggernaut, which in the Houston Astros, because if you match them up on paper, they are a juggernaut. They kind of beat up. If you by every position, it's almost like they're just a little bit tougher, a little stronger. But baseball's unique. It's not boring. Baseball is not boring.
Definitely isn't. Clipping that.
Because of this, like the SEC football, like no way Georgia can lose to somebody in the Pac-12. There's just no way, right? But baseball, it can happen, and that's what's so freaking unique about baseball. And I love that the Phillies can play against a juggernaut like the Astros and have a good chance to beat them.
So as a player, when you see the Dodgers for, it seems like a decade now, Houston now for like the last 6 years, how, like you said, they're a juggernaut and they're able to just scrape together these 100-win seasons like it's no issue. But each of them combined have one World Series apiece to like put their name to it. Does that just go and show you like how difficult it, like you just have to punch your ticket to the postseason and knowing as a player, like, hey, anything can happen at this point.
And hope for the rainouts.
Yeah.
Yes. And there is something to be said about experience. Like the Yankees, all those years where they did win 2 in a row. And then I think they three-peated. Did they three-peat? Or is that in 2001 when they should have, when the whole
2001 they lost?
Yeah, we were rooting for them. The entire country was finally rooting for the Yankees, and they lost to the Diamondbacks in 2001, right?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was after the trade center.
Yeah,
that is correct.
Yep. But anyway,
go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
No. I was just gonna say. So, I want to go back. So to that game, to that feeling when you have the rain out. So like we've established the fact that if there was no rain out, you still felt good because of the construction of the team, the momentum that you had, despite the loss, despite falling in 3-2. But does a rain out like this? I'll spin it forward to this Phillies team now. They're coming off a loss. They're coming off like a reminder how good this Houston team is. Does this sort of thing allow you to sort of regroup a little bit and say, all right, okay, it's going to be okay. We lost the last game, but it's going to be okay.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think this is a little bit above that pay scale, meaning that's how they felt today if they were playing. Like this group of guys with Schwarber and Harper and the way they're playing, even these young kids like the Bohm and Stott, like all these kids, the way they're playing, there's nothing that's going to get in their way of their confidence. They are super confident. They're super confident, and there's nothing that can get in the way. This is more above their grade, meaning this is the GM. Now, what is he going to do? Is he going to come back? Is he going to use Syndergaard? Or is he going to go to the lefty with the slow heartbeat? Like,
right. This
has nothing to do with the 25 guys in the clubhouse for me. This is more like, what are they going to do? The players could care less. They're confident. Both teams are playing with some confidence. I think it's just more, what are they going to do? What's the personnel going to do?
Before I forget, do you remember what you did once you found out the game was rained out? Because this is another thing. I mean, these guys, oh, wait a second. We're back home at 8 o'clock. We're back at the hotel at 8 o'clock. Like, What do you do? Do you get together as a team? What did you do?
No, the home guys they're more miserable, if this makes sense. So the Phillies are more miserable because they have grandmas in town, they have aunts in town, uncles are in town. So now they got to go host them to a dinner where their heart's gonna be pounding. Like there's no relaxing in the World Series. Nobody's relaxed. There's no such thing. The only time you can relax is when the game starts. So at 5:05 tomorrow, you'll see all 50 players relaxed finally. But right now, they're pooping in their pants. They don't want to be sitting down with grandma eating tea and eating crumpets and drinking tea with grandma and grandpa. But the grandma and grandpa are in their apartments right now. That's who's in their apartment right now because they hosted everybody. You're at home. It's just how it is. But it's actually kind of miserable. This was my experience in St. Louis. I had 12 people in my house before Game 6. My dad's sleeping on the couch. My mom's over here. They're divorced. It was just an absolute S show. So it was a mess. It was a total mess. But the organized chaos kind of took my mind off what was coming. But really, there's no relaxing in the World Series until the game starts.
That's a great perspective. That was. See, that's why you're the media star of 2023. I mean, I'm serious. Like that's the stuff that we don't even think about here. But then so what you're saying is these guys are running to the field at about 8 a.m. Ready to go, ready to play, much even more so than they're ready to play now, and then just to tie a bow on what happened back then, as you said at the outset. Then you just happen to have like the most epic game, one of the most epic games in MLB history. I mean, that's another part. And you're right. Like, we don't know what would have happened if you played when the sun came out the day before. But I know this. It wouldn't have been what happened.
You're right. No, I mean, it just, you don't know what would have happened. But I know that Chris Carpenter wouldn't have been on the mound. And that's huge. That's a big deal. It really is. And that game was as you guys remember, I mean, that game was so intense. David Freese.
Yeah. David Freese, who, by the way, may be on the podcast on Thursday with Rich Hill.
Bit of a teaser.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. I don't know. I mean, who knows? But
I'll shoot him a text.
Everybody wants to be on this now. So, where were you? So I was looking this up. You came out of the game about halfway through, correct? That game?
Well, shoot, yeah. When you say halfway through, I think we played like 15, 16 innings. So, I came 7th or 8th.
Yeah. So where were you? So when all the crap went down at the end, where were you?
We're running back and forth. Like, obviously, I'm in the dugout. I don't like to miss anything. I have serious FOMO. I don't know if you knew that, but I have. So I'm always got to be right there. I don't want to miss anything. But we'd run up and down in the clubhouse and check on some of the guys or watch maybe a couple pitches up there. And it was just intense. It was just shot for shot. I think in the 13th we score a couple, and then Josh Hamilton hits a 2-run homer. Napoli was incredible for the Rangers. Mike Napoli would have been the World Series MVP if we didn't win it. 100%.
He loved talking about that game. I'm joking.
Yeah.
So here's what it looked like. So you guys ended up winning 10-9. So the Rangers score 3 in the 7th, and then you guys come back, and let's see, you score 1 in the 8th, 2 in the 9th, and then they score 2 in the 10th. You guys scored 2 in the 10th, and of course you scored the run in the 11th.
Yeah.
That's so you guys scored in the last 4 innings, and you scored in 5 of the last 6.
Pretty impressive. It was good.
That is
big
pretty
hit,
impressive.
unbelievable hits, like big hits. Alan Craig, those rookies I was talking about. Alan Craig, big hit. John Jay, big hit. Descalso, big hit. Schumacher, I believe, got a big hit, and then obviously Lance Berkman, 2 strikes, 2 outs, gets fisted, big hit before the huge hit by David Freese.
Yeah.
I would imagine as a player, like, you like to try and think that like it's just another game. Like this is not like something very comparable to something that you would play in the regular season.
Yep.
But I mean, in the moment, are you trying to your best to be like, oh well, this is just like this, or is it nothing compares to it?
I mean, in the moment, I think it's a little bit like what I just said, where you're so nervous until that game starts. In the moment of any game, whether it's July 7th in Kansas City for a day game or the World Series, I feel like every moment, if you're really into the game, kind of feel the same, if that makes sense. The hair on your neck might stand up a little more, but it's still, we're just playing baseball.
So
right?
at what point do you kind of like really ingest what has happened, and you're just kind of like, I just played a historical game that 12 years from now I'm going to be talking about?
Yeah, definitely after the fact.
Yeah.
My last trick-or-treater just jumped in here.
It's all right. But you know what? Here's the thing is that the Rangers scored. What's your dog's name?
Coop.
Is that true?
Yeah, Coop. Come here, Coop. Oh, say hi. Say hi. Come here.
It's like the country's most popular dog name for like the last 8 years.
Man, we have
Cooperstown,
two,
buddy. Dude,
we have two.
Cooperstown, Coop. Come here.
We have 2 Coops on the podcast.
We can have
First
2
time
Coops
ever
on the podcast. What kind of dog?
Really?
He's as good looking as Coop.
Yeah, who is
handsome fella?
Hey, who has better hair? Coop the dog or Coop the person?
It's about a tie. I mean, that's a good looking blonde. Coop looks like a good looking blonde.
Mine's a little flat today. I've been wearing a hat all day.
All right.
That's solid hair.
Hey, so the thing was.
Oh no, the city of Philadelphia, I think, got him.
Oh shoot. Frozen.
This is what happens. This was Cooper's plan all along.
Wi-Fi, Bradfo.
He's got to re-up with the Holiday Inn.
I love how his face is frozen.
The freeze monster always gets you. I mean, no matter which way you split it, you're gonna get frozen in a terrible position.
Yo, goodness. I guess it could be.
Could be worse. Could be worse.
Could be worse.
How are you watching the games though?
I'm loving it. This was awesome tonight. The fact that they got delayed, because I hate missing a pitch.
Yeah.
And they didn't have to miss a pitch, so it's great.
I would have been coming in pretty late from work, so I was happy to kind of decompress. Oh, we just completely lost them.
He's gone.
But that game one was incredible.
Oh, so good. And then like to see Houston come back, like I'm rooting for the Phillies, but I enjoy the Astros. Like that's a good team. They're a good group of like established players who understand the heartbeat and what it takes. Like they are very
Bregman's a guy that like pre the whole cheating scandal. Yes. I was always like a massive fan of him, still am, but like just the stories of him coming out of LSU and how they had to give him like the keys just so he could go into the stadium on his own and take balls and everything, and how he demanded to be a first rounder. So when he got
there I
drafted, he
am.
wasn't going to
There.
accept it. So
Yep.
just to see him kind of play it out and just year after year, just be one
I
of the
agree.
go-to guys in the playoffs. It's awesome to watch.
Yep. I just
All
wish
right.
there you are.
Yeah. Sorry about that hotel. So what I was going to say was, despite that historic game, devastating loss, the Rangers come back and score the first in Game 7. They scored 2, but this shows something about you guys. You come back and score 2 in the bottom of the first.
I know.
Boom.
Boom. Boom.
Yeah.
That was huge too. Like huge. Like that was a big, like they threw a huge left and then we came back and countered them. That was big because after that, the game was kind of over. I remember that. I remember thinking Game 7 was super boring and it was just, it was kind of over. Like no baseball game's ever over, but it just kind of felt like that.
Yeah. And you came in at the end, right? Defensive replacement or something?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the last question I'll ask about that is, what's it like when you win a World Series? Like when because you were in the field for the last hour, right?
Yeah, I was. Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's the most intense feeling I think I've ever felt. It really is. It's the thing you dream about. It's the thing you hear us all say that we dreamt about it when we were little kids at 5, 6, 7 years old, throwing balls against a wall, trying to make the last play of Game 7. And if we don't throw it perfectly into this little square box, that means it's an error and you lose the game for the team. Like I literally played out so many dang Game 7 series moments where whether it was like I'm hitting in a game or fielding a ball, like it is true. Like I think that to a man, almost all of us that made it to the major leagues played out Game 7 so many times in their lifetime. And I actually got to live it, it was unbelievable. It really was.
Did you do the throw the glove up in the air, the hat up in the air?
I did the glove was gone, the hat was gone, and it was just pandemonium. And you're hoping nobody gets hurt because you don't want to miss the celebration. It doesn't matter if somebody does because you're done playing, but you just want everybody to have a great time celebrating. And that after that little dog pile. But yeah, it was incredible.
I mean, it's amazing. Like your vertical leap, that was the highest you've ever jumped.
Sure.
Like,
yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, but so now let's talk about this thing. Okay, so you talked about the Phillies, being probably not as talented as the Astros, but this, number one, the Phillies on a roll. Rob Thompson is pushing, like he's on a heater, right? I mean, he's pushing a lot of the right strings here. And also because the Astros are deeper, this helps this helps the Phillies, I think. I don't think there's any question about it. Right?
Yep.
Yeah. And so when you look at this Phillies team, can you see, like, I know who you're pulling for because you're not wearing an Astros jersey right now.
Yep.
Unless, I mean, is that an Astros hat?
No. This is my Puma hat. I couldn't find my Phillies hats, so it's close.
Do you have? I mean, how come you got wearing your own Phillies jersey? What's going on? What's happening?
I wanted to represent J-Roll. I mean, that was my guy.
All right. Okay. Fair enough. By the way, Coop, member of the Odyssey podcast family, Jimmy Rollins.
Is he a member?
Oh yeah,
he is. That's right.
Him and Ron Darling. Yeah. They do a podcast together. So, so when you look at this, is it like, are you like, okay, this is a team? When you look at this team, what do you see, Nick? I mean, we can look at the numbers, we can look at the history of the players and everything else, but your eyes look at it differently, I think. What do you see?
I see probably the most important thing I see is one, Thompson has those guys like just pulling from the same side of the rope. There's no doubt about it that clubhouse is just amazing. And they're all rooting for each other. All the core guys, like Schwarber says all the right things. Bryce Harper, who to me, when I played against him, he was just a little erratic and wild and just crazy. And now he's grown up into this amazing, like, leader type athlete that's so easy to root for. And I love watching him play. It's a team that's easy to jump on. Like, I'm loving watching them play. Like, I absolutely love watching them. I'm rooting so hard for them. They have a shot. I mean, they have a shot because baseball isn't boring. Again, baseball isn't boring. The Astros are supposed to whoop up on these boys, but I promise you, they're going to come out slugging tomorrow. They're going to win the game 6-4. It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome.
All right. Okay. Prediction for for the series. What do you got? 7.
And they're going to win in 7. Yeah, it's going to be in 2.
Wow. We're going to get full chaos.
Phillies get chaos. Tomorrow night. Listen. So I cut my teeth with these boys. My first 4 years, all my minor leagues was with the Philadelphia Phillies, and then I got to play parts of 3 seasons with Philadelphia. There is no fan like them. Wait till you see what they do to these Houston Astros tomorrow night. It is going to be so insane because they haven't had their chance to tell them how that they cheated, right?
Well, they already had Verlander flipping off fans.
Yeah, did you see that?
No.
They already struck a nerve with him.
Verlander caught twice flipping off the Phillies fans. First on the bus, then getting off the bus, and then he took to Twitter and said, "Oh no, I was just trying to have fun along with him."
I'm on his side with. He was like smiling and laughing during that.
Yeah, but you know what? What though? Yeah, I get it, but still, it's like in this day, this is a different day and age, man.
Yeah, but those are Philly fans. They get it. If anyone's gonna get that type of like humor, it's gonna be a Philly fan.
Cooper,
I love it.
Like Cooper, that's what the Philly fans wanted.
Yeah, listen, Boston's a scumbag city. Philly's a scumbag city too. So I get what they're saying. I understand their language.
But, hey, scumbag is like a beautiful term, though.
It is.
Like, honestly, because the 2 coolest cities I ever played in are Philadelphia and Boston.
There we have it.
Yeah. It's
because of how intense the fan is. And there's a reason you want to come to the yard, and they elevate you, and it's just a great play. They're 2 unbelievable plays.
It is weird, it's the St. Louis has a great fan base. Like, obviously they love baseball, they pack, but having been to some games here, it is so bizarre where it seems more like, oh man, the great game of baseball was a real winner today. It's like, it's so weird.
You just nailed it. I always say the problem with the St. Louis Cardinal fan is they're too good. They're too good. And they're paying way too much attention. They all have a scorebook, and they're all keeping score, right? They're all keeping score when we need them to just go nuts because we just hit an RBI double. Like, get out of your stand and go crazy. They're just like, nope, we scored a run. They all know what's going on. They know, everybody knows what's going on in the city. They're just as passionate as Philadelphia and Boston, but they're just a little bit more quiet.
It's the king of the baseball world.
Yeah,
it is. They kind of are, but no, I take that back. I've been to Friday night games in Toronto. Oh my goodness, the Molsons and the paper airplanes.
The Molsons are kicking in. The bats kick in.
Yeah, but it's St. Louis is like, they wouldn't be flipping. They would just be like a tip of the chapeau to you, my fine friend. Go play the great game of baseball. But I like it. It's something, as long as it's not apathy. I mean, that's the biggest thing, right? No apathy allowed in baseball.
That's right.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I think we solved a lot of problems tonight.
Okay.
Not a lot of problems. We got to the heart of it.
Coop, get some quick sleep, and then we'll do this again tomorrow.
Oh yeah. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. All right. Thanks,
the
Nick.
post games are fun.
I know. Post game's gonna be great. I can't wait.